Hello, Nick. So here we are. I've read the rules that I need to get ready for this. This is the Fall of France scenario of Axis Empires to Tyler Krieg. So thought I would just kind of introduce it, discuss some things, and get going on it. So this is going to last 5 turns. The current turn is March, April of 1940, so it'll go to July, August 1940, so 5 turns. And this is historically Hitler's armies conquered Denmark, Norway, Belgium, Holland, and France in the 5 turns simulated here. So that's what the Axis player will attempt to do, and the Western Allies will attempt to prevent that. Denmark and Norway is considered one country in the game, even though they're not and weren't. To conquer a country, you need to take over all of their cities. So there's Copenhagen here and Oslo there. So if at the end of the turn, or maybe at the moment it happens, I'm not have to look at that, but that means we conquer the country. One thing, so this is supposed to just be the west map, so just this side, which makes it so Narvik wouldn't be on it, but the errata and clarifications say that Narvik's not in play. However, if you have the table space and want to include it to see how it might affect play, that's not a bad idea. So we're going to include it. And from what I see, so Narvik has the border around it that I think indicates that it's an Axis strategic hex, and so that means they control that. So by having this in the game, the Axis have to worry a little bit about the Western Allies making a grab for that after, if the Axis takes over Denmark, Norway, and the Western Allies have to kind of decide whether that's worth the risk to them, because by doing that they would leave Great Britain open to possible invasion there. So you could possibly win the scenario because we're going to be taking over these strategic hexes that give us points, and at the end of the 5 turns. So right now we're at Allied Crusade. They have 1 victory point. So we need to get that switched over for the Axis to win, to be Axis Crusade at the end of the game. So yeah, so start the game. Belgium, Holland has some Western influence in it. It's a limited war situation, and yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the supply and the naval interdiction and all that stuff. This is kind of like where line of sight issues in tactical games is the bane of my existence. The supply lines when it comes to naval assets in this strategic scale of games kind of is my bane. So we're going to be dealing with the North Sea up here. So I guess for the Western Allies to, so let's say the Axis takes over Copenhagen and Oslo. So the country falls. So the Western Allies could try to place a surface fleet. Say they have to do it in an all-sea hex. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit here. Whoops! Whoa! Maybe I should have just moved the tripod. How about that? I got So they could place that, and then the Axis player would have to decide, do I want to interdict that? And the Axis player has a subfleet, so they could interdict that, or I think they could even use an Air Force fleet. If not, then no, they wouldn't do that. They would convert that to a beachhead and point it however they want to go, and then they'd need a transport, and they could get a unit up there to take Narvik eventually. But then, the naval unit's going to go through delay. You don't know when it's going to get back, and that might open up the Western Allies to a invasion attempt against Great Britain here. The differences, so naval units need to have a naval base, so that's just a port with a unit in it. And then on that, in that naval zone, so that this would be in the North Sea. Germany's got, what is this? They've got Hamburg here, so they've got, a naval base also in the North Sea, where they would be having their people come out of. So the weakening effect, the Axis don't have a surface fleet, but if they can get an air base close enough to what is it? Do they need to? I'm trying to remember. Do they place them in an all sea hex if they want to? Because you can also create a beachhead with a. Oh yeah, by the way, so the if you create a beachhead with a fleet, it becomes a beachhead -1. That's a 1 shift to the left when you attack. You can also place beachhead markers with Air Force, but those are beachhead -2, and that means 2 shifts, so not as good. And to be able to do that with your Air Force, yeah, all sea hex. So the Axis just have to get. I mean, I guess they could 1, 2, 3. Heck, they could attempt it now, but the Western Allies have their own, support assets that they can use to stop that. So it's kind of how risky does the Western Allies want to be? Do they want to weaken themselves in an attempt to take Narvik, or do they just want to be safe and hold their fleet and their Air Force to make sure that the Axis doesn't get a little bit too frisky? I think in our game we're gonna play it safe. I don't think we're gonna attempt the Narvik gambit, so we won't really worry about that. But as the Axis player, we don't know that. So the Axis, so on this first turn, it's a seasonal turn, and they'll be playing Operation Weserbrunn. So they'll be able to declare war on a target minor country. And the advantage of being able to declare war on your option card play is there won't be any chance for the Allies to react to it. So, they'll declare war on Denmark, Norway, and the Allies won't be able to do anything to reinforce that before the attack. The other time you can declare war is at the end of your turn. You're free to do that to whoever you want. So at the end of this first turn, the Axis could declare war on Belgium, Holland, but then that would activate them as a Western Ally minor country, and the Allies could flood in there to reinforce, to help repel the invasion. So not not the best time to do it. Being able to do it off the card gives you the benefit of surprise and allows you to get in there before they can react. So we'll have one blitz marker from that, and then so we'll have 2 turns. Then we'll have this turn and the next turn. The next turn is going to be mud, so we got to keep that in mind. And then we're going to spring out case yellow, and that. So even though we'll pretty much for sure take Denmark Norway this turn, we don't really want to go to war yet with Belgium Holland, because we want to be able to play this, because this, all we'll have to do then is take over Paris, case yellow will trigger, and France will collapse and we'll take them over. So that is how things are going to go there for the Axis. And I guess we can look at the Allies. Not that the Axis player knows any of this for their prep. So they're going to start out with Commonwealth support. Just one step replacement, a couple things in the force pool. And then after the 2 turns, when the summer comes, they'll do the dial plan, which will just add some more things to the delay box. France will receive a step, so they'll try to hang on. Also, in the strategic warfare box, I won't move the camera, but France's war economy is at a +1, which gives them 1 step every time that they would get one, or that production comes up, reinforcements. And then the Allies also have a minor production +1, so I believe that'll make it so that overall, whenever we receive replacements, the French will get 2. So I think that that pretty much sets the stage here. We'll pause it here, and when we come back, we'll be getting the turn going. All right, we're kicking things off. So we're on the Axis faction turn, and it is a seasonal turn. So we will perform the seasonal phase. So the option card segment. Operation Weserbrunn. We select 1 target minor country, then we can either declare war or we can roll for a diplomatic incident. And I believe we are definitely going to declare war, and we're going to declare war on Denmark Norway. Let me look up that 1910 just to make sure that I'm not missing anything from that. I think that's just the activation. Yeah, so if an allied faction activate the neutral country, so Denmark Norway is going to be activated as an allied country after determining its alignment. Boy, I read through all this stuff already, and I'm not very prepared here. They're going to be a Western ally, and let's see. Yeah, we need to activate. Let me pause here just so I can get my thoughts in order. Yeah, so this is the minor country activation. If the Soviet faction was in this, we'd have to determine, based on a priority list, who would control Denmark Norway. But it's going to be controlled by the Western Allies. Then we have to activate it. So the only Denmark Norway unit is this reserve unit, and that goes in the faction's force pool. So we'll put that in the force pool. there was any remaining units with delays, place in the delay box any of its remaining units with delay stripes, except for fortress units. Place any garrison or fortress units in the appropriate hex. Place all remaining ground units. So we don't have to. We'll have to do more of this when we eventually go to war with Belgium, Holland. But for this point, that's their only unit. It goes into the Western Force Pool, and that's it. So, I say so a lot. I apologize for that. I'm trying to avoid such things, but it's just in my brain. Okay, so next coming up is the replacement segment. So we're going to get 1 armor and 4 steps, and I will place those. But most importantly, we're going to get a we're going to take, if I can get it to focus, we're going to take this paradrop unit, and that's going to be real handy for when we're attacking into Norway. We're going to put that in. Let's see. Yeah, whoops. So we'll put that in Hamburg, or build that in Hamburg. We've got an armor unit. We're going to place an armor and in one of the steps with our HQ. And then we've got two other infantry left, and we'll just put them. I guess we'll put one in Hamburg, and the other one, I guess, back in Munich, or maybe, well, yeah. We'll put it in. We'll build it in Berlin. All right, so replacements have been placed. So that's the seasonal phase. We're done with that. Initial administrative phase. We don't have any political segments or events from the option card. So support segment, return to base. There's nothing on the map to return to base. Beachhead maintenance. We don't have a beachhead. Support unit convoy marker placement. All right. So I'm going to start with. I'm going to place a troop convoy in the North Sea. Let's see, should I zoom in here a little bit? Yeah, maybe that would be better. Yeah, you can see the troop convoy. So we're going to place that. So now the Western faction could, or no, they can't. You can't interdict convoys. So that won't matter. All you could do is if you have someone on station, it closes ports, which then kind of affects that. So that's good. And then let's see. I don't think we're going to do anything with Air Force and Subfleet. We're just going to hold. So that is the support unit convoy marker placement segment. Blitz marker placement. All right, so this is kind of important for what we're going to do, because we're going to use the airdrop unit to get into Stavanger. So we have to make sure that we put that blitz marker so that our paradrop unit can be blitz enabled. So we're going to put that right there. And then beachhead failure, none of that. All right, organization segment. Let's see. I'm not going to, at the moment, I'm not going to worry about this. There'll be, I mean, we've got one more. Well, I'm just excited about getting to the movement. So I may do the combination stuff off camera, but we're going to skip that for now. It's not going to affect what we're going to be doing here. So let's see. Yeah, there's nothing to worry about with that. So now we're into the operational movement phase. All right, so our paradrop unit, we're going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got him moved. This guy will go 1, 2. take over Copenhagen, and then this guy's going to stay there for sure. And I think I'll do the moves also after this. I just want to get to. I want to really. I mean, I've already gone over the combining and movement to enough that that's nothing new there. So I'm just going to jump right into how we're going to be attacking here. So let's say we did all the movements. So now blitz combat segment. So a paradrop unit, and we know that's a paradrop unit because that little insignia under the X there, and also on the back it's got an airdrop marker. So during the combat segment, let me get my let's see, where's the sub steps of, okay, so all right, so the first step of the blitz combat segment is airdropped. A supplied blitz enabled airborne unit can conduct an airdrop by flipping to its airdrop marker side and placing itself within 2 hexes of its current location. So we flip that over to its airdrop side. It's blitz enabled, it's in supply because it can trace back. So we're going to put it 2 from its location. Then we have blitz combat. We don't actually have any combat, so we skip that. Beachhead landing, we're not doing any beachheads. So airdrop landing. If an airdrop marker is supplied, oh crap. I did that wrong. So now it wouldn't be supplied. And it's not stacked with an enemy unit. It can conduct an airdrop landing by placing a 1-step infantry unit of the same nationality in the airdrop marker's hex and then placing the airdrop marker in the delay box. Well, shoot. So this needs to be I need to place that as a supply convoy. I was thinking something different, or I just didn't. It didn't click with me that, hey, I need to have him in supply after the fact. All right, so we've got a supply convoy out here. We can trace supply from here through that zone, and this is a port. I think I'm doing this right, but I may not. So, but now we can flip him. And there's that. Then there's CV strike return, and that is the blitz combat segment. So then there's the regular combat segment. We don't have any regular combat. Marker segment, we remove the blitz combat markers. So then we're to reserve movement. So this guy, oh wait, oh yeah. So then he can go 1, 2. He takes over Oslo. And so these are all the cities of Denmark, Norway. So we have taken over that, and we put them. So now there's the event of what's it called? Allied Minor Conquest. But that won't be until we get to the permanent conditional events phase. So now we're into the final administrative phase, War and Peace. So now the conditional. So now, so that is conquered. It remains an allied country aligned with its own faction, but its status is now a conquered minor country. So once this happens, we remove all the conquered minor country support units, fortress units, partnership, blah, 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 and convoy markers. Remove all its remaining counters and place them in the conquered minor countries of the Allied Factions force pool. So that reserve unit that we put there, we now put that into the Western conquered minor countries box. If the country has an associated British colonial unit, that goes in the delay box. I do not believe that it does. And if the Axis, you don't have to worry about if the Axis had played a ceded lands that was in that country earlier, it would get that as a ceded land or that portion of it. but we don't have to worry about that. So that has happened, and we are done with that. So I'm gonna pause it here and just double check some things, because I had an idea of I thought I was going to be able to get somebody headed toward Narvik, but maybe I'm thinking wrong. Yeah, I think we're all good. I was thinking, for some reason, I was thinking I was going to also get the other unit that I was going to have go for Narvik over there, but I can't do that. One thing I did do wrong, which I think I read it, but I didn't actually. I didn't actually do it. So this airdrop was here. You replace it with someone from your a one step from your force pull, and then this goes to the delay box. So that is correct now. And so we did the collapse, option card, conditional events. We don't have anything on there. So that, barring the combining the organization segment stuff and any maneuvering that I want to do, that is the end of the German turn. So I'll do that, and then we'll come back. I don't think there's really going to be a whole lot going on for the Western side, but maybe we'll just talk about that. Maybe we'll look at what it would take for if they want to go for Narvik, but like I said, I don't think we'll do that. All right. Continuing on. So it's been a week for me, just a blink of an eye for you. I believe early on in the first part of this, I made the statement that, I think when I was showing an example of maybe how the Western allies could do an invasion up here in Norway, and I said something about like how they'd have to put a surface fleet out, and if it wasn't interdicted, and I said the Axis has a subfleet that could interdict. Subfleets, to what I found, cannot interdict, so they can be interdicted by surface fleets, but not the other way around. So just wanted to clarify that. Anywho, so we are to the Western Allies' turn, and I thought I'd just kind of riff a little bit on the situation about Narvik. So, so ports are open in the North Sea. This is the whatever sea this is. Oh, yeah, the North Sea. Because there's nobody on station blocking or making the ports closed. If the German player wanted to securely lock that down, he could have placed the subfleet in the on station box, and then if the Western Allies didn't contest that with either their surface fleet or their air force, it would stay there, and then that would close all the Allied ports in the North Sea. They didn't do that, so they've kind of tempted the Western Allies to consider, like, should they go for Narvik? In order to go for Narvik, they have at the moment a surface fleet and an air force. I believe Narvik up here, I think that's too far away to use an air force to drop a beachhead. I think in order for that, just off the top of my head, I think you have to be like three hexes from a port, unless I'm thinking about closing down a port. Let me check that. Yes, so Air Force still needs to be, they need to, just like placement on the map in the other scenarios we saw, there has to be an air base, and they can go 3 hexes from that. So there's no chance they could place that far up. They can always go in the on station box as long as there's a active port on, or air is air or port, or shoot, now I lost that. Anyways, so we can't use the Air Force for the beachhead placement. So we would have to use the surface fleet, like I kind of showed in the previous example. The Axis couldn't contest that because they can't contest with their subfleet, and they can't. They don't have an air. Well, I guess they have a. No, they wouldn't be able to contest that. So they'd have to commit. The Western Allies would have to commit a surface fleet. They'd lay a beachhead marker down, and then they would have to also commit a troop convoy so that they could take one of their, well, I guess it would be this guy from London because he's in a port, to ship him up there. Or I guess Southampton could also ship the guy from there up. But that would substantially weaken Great Britain for a possible invasion. So I don't think that they are going to do that. I just think playing it safe right now would be the way to go. So let's just let's head on into things. So it's a seasonal turn. So we're gonna look at the option card. So they are going, it's the Commonwealth support, so they're going to get 2 colonial units into the force pool, and they're going to get 1 British step. We don't have to worry about this conditional events segment when that comes up, because by scenario that is skipped. Those units actually went to the Med or Africa, I can't remember. So we'll put those colonials in the force pool. We'll grab a British step, and we also in the strategic warfare box, we have French war economy +1, which adds us a French step, and we have minor production +1, which adds a minor step. So that will basically give us 1 British step and 2 French steps. Okay, so replacements segment, we brought in this British step to reinforce London, and our 2 French steps we put down here in Paris. So moving on, support segment placement, or not support segment, support segment, return to base, we don't have any of that. No beachhead, support unit convoy marker placement. So one interesting thing just to note here, in the North Sea, it shows supply convoy, British, French, German. So, oh man. So anyways, that means there's always a, or no, that shows who can place there, British, French, or German. This shows that there's always a Western Allies supply convoy considered in there. So if they needed to supply anybody, which I guess the British need to supply their people over here, they're good to go. So there's nothing they need to do. They do have an Air Force, but they're not going to be attacking at this time, and they don't foresee an attack by the Axis next turn, on their next turn. So we have it in a defensive capacity. It's probably not needed. So none of that. Blitz marker, they don't have a blitz marker. All right, on to the organization segment, combination. So I think we're going to combine here in London, just beef up that defense, and that's, I would think, all we have to worry about in there. And then in France, they'll combine, beef up there. Let's see, I don't think, feel like, yeah, I think, Yeah, we're probably good. We might, no. We are probably good. We could possibly pull this during movement, pull that one stepper out of there and put him somewhere. But that is that. Fortress conversion. We don't have any more fortresses to do such things. And then voluntary elimination, no. Breakdown, we don't need to do any of that. Detachments, I haven't learned about those yet, though I don't know, maybe they'd be handy in this scenario. Operational movement, let's have this guy. What do we have? Let's just maybe move them into there with the HQ. And down here in Marseille, we've got this mountain unit. I think we're safe to bring him up. So we can go 1, 2, 3. All right, combat. We don't have any reserve movement. I feel like for now we're okay. All right, final administrative phase, War and Peace. Nothing going on there. Conditional events. This event can occur. So the Axis. Yeah, none of these have happened yet. So that is the end of the Western Allies' turn. So we're also into the end of turn phase. So let's roll for delay for this paratrooper. And let's see, what is the... so at the moment, the modifiers for the Axis, I think, are just 0 because... Yeah, because the Axis, or the Allies, actually have a VP. So no mod. Here's the roll. So got a 4. So that goes 4 turns out. So that'll come back on the very last turn. So we move this to the next turn. And looks like the Axis will get a Panzer Army and a Infantry Army that they put in their force pool. And the British get Force H, a CV fleet, and they get a looks like a colonial unit. I'm guessing their Polish colonial unit. All right, and we move the turn marker to the Axis time turn, and that is that. So that is turn 1. Hopefully that made sense. Getting the concepts straight in my head myself, and we'll be ready to move on. See ya. Quick addendum here. I kind of seem to be on a schedule of about 1 video a week, usually posted on Sundays. Most likely I won't have a video next Sunday unless I get a lot of time during the week that I can get some turns in, which you would think I'd be able to, but yeah, that OTP just always takes a lot of my free cycles. It shouldn't. I should try to limit that, but I have so much enjoyment of it. Isn't that what you're supposed to be doing? But anyways, next weekend I'm going to be doing some live gaming, so I'm going to need to prepare for that this week also, and then probably not going to have time when I get back next weekend to do anything on this table. So just wanted to let that be known. And also, I'm in debate here. Once I get through this Fall of France scenario, I mean, normally the next logical thing that I would go into would be, the full campaign. I know there's some scenarios that take a look at, less than the whole campaign, or they start right at the outbreak of war and such. But I've always kind of been, once I get an understanding of the system, I like to go for the full campaign and really see what the system can all do. I think that's probably that's where these systems are supposed to shine. But I'm kind of, I've got other games. The Fate of All kind of calls to me. I still haven't even punched that or started reading the rules. And then, there's other games that I've been wanting to play. There's that Gilbert Collins War for America that I've had just sitting taunting me for quite a while. And I know I've heard some things that people had problems with the rules, and I don't know. I really liked Gilbert's Mr. Madison's War. Had no problems with that, and watching his videos of the War for America online, it just amazes me that there would be problems with that. So I'd like to see for myself. But man, I'd really love to do the campaign of this, at least the Totaler Krieg version, and then maybe move on to the Daisenso at some point. But who knows? Maybe I'll just pack this up and move on to something else. Though that might take me a little more prep and make me skip a video or so. But I don't know. I gotta decide what I want to do. So who knows? Maybe I'll have a surprise video from next weekend or something. I don't know what it would be. I know we're playing. Plan is to play East Front, old Columbia Games game, blocks. I'm a big fan of their Hammer of the Scots, and I think blocks are pretty good for the fog of war component. I don't know how it'll work with a World War II Eastern Front game, but we'll see. I'm looking forward to that. And then I think there's what do you call it? Crap, what's the name of that system? Civil War. It's the Herman Luttman system. I think Sedgwick Attacks. We're playing some scenario from that. And then I don't know, whatever. I kind of toying. We're not doing a whole lot of prep. We're not stressing about it to get some giant game that's going to take the whole weekend. Just kind of taking it easy. Kind of coined the term years ago for our kind of weekends like this, hippie gaming weekend. Not a whole lot of prep, not a whole lot of stress. Just getting together, enjoying each other's company, and pushing some counters and rolling some dice. So looking forward to that. So we will leave it there. So just wanted you to know. Laters.